Hello everybody, Carolyn here. Today I'm going to be doing a video I've been wanting to do for a super long time, so I'm very excited to be filming it for you guys today. I'm going to be doing my ultimate guide to starting a K-pop photo card collection in the year of 2022. Yay! So this video is going to be part one, actually, just because originally I was going to talk about like trading and selling in the same video as all of my supplies, but I think really I could spend a good 40 minutes talking about trading and selling photo cards. And so I'm gonna make that its own separate video. I'll release it next weekend, so make sure you're subscribed so you can hang out and you don't miss that video when it comes out, because I get a lot of questions, both in my comment section and then also like when I trade and sell to people on Twitter and Instagram about how to do it. And so I really want it to be like an in-depth, thorough video that can hopefully help answer all of the questions I've gotten over the years. But yeah, if you just stumbled upon this video, I have been collecting photo cards for like a long time, like 8 years now, and I've kind of gone in and out of phases of loving it and being meh about it, and the past like 3 years or so I've really gotten back into photo card collecting, and I definitely think that I've acquired a couple of tips and tricks along the way. What we're going to discuss in this video, I will leave timestamps down below in case you're just interested in one thing, but I am going to discuss kind of like the beginnings of your collection, like how you can decide what to get and the differences between all of the photo cards and everything. I'm going to discuss where to get photo cards. Like I said, I'll get more into trading and buying on Instagram and Twitter next week. But for today, we are going to talk about like other places you can get photo cards, because I get that question all the time. And then also I'm going to go over some of my favorite photo card supplies. I've done a couple videos like this. We'll just go over all of it again, and hopefully that will be helpful. So yes, if you have any other questions after you finish watching this video, please leave them in the comment section down below. Myself or some other collector in the comments can definitely help you out. I'll try to respond to as many comments as I can who are asking questions about things. But yeah, like I said, trading and selling will be next week, so don't worry about that for today. This is just day one. This is syllabus day of the Wanted photo card course. I hope you're ready. Since I didn't want to just be like sitting here and I didn't want to film my face for this video, I'm actually going to be putting some sticky notes on some pages in my Monster X photo card binder. So I have a ton of sticky notes off screen here that I'm just going to be adding, but I'm going to do a bunch of B-roll and stuff as well. So you won't see it too often, but I just didn't want it to be like my hands. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the beginnings of your collection. So obviously the first thing you need to figure out is what you want to collect. I think that a lot of people look at K-pop unboxing channels and K-pop collection channels and they see their giant photo card collection and think that that's what they need to do. And I will speak for myself. Through all of this, these are all my own opinions. Another collector may feel different ways about this. You don't need a giant photo card collection. You don't need a giant photo card collection. And I definitely think that you should prioritize what you actually want to collect. Like, don't think you need to collect everybody that you slightly stan. You definitely don't. It can be a lot. There are a lot of different like cards these days, which we'll discuss in a minute, but I definitely think it's important to kind of sit down and be like, who do I want to collect? Like, what does their photo card situation look like? Yes, all of that. So I definitely think that it's super important to kind of sit down and prioritize your collections and figure out who you want to collect. I think it's important when you're doing this to think about like what they have. So looking up a template is a good way to do this. I'll share that kind of in the supplies video, like where I find templates and how I like blur them and everything. So we'll go over that today as well. Definitely think it's important to look up a template and kind of see what you're getting yourself into, and then decide, do you want all of those items, or do you maybe just want one card per album? Or, you know, maybe you only want to collect the selfie cards and they're a group that does selfies and concept cards, or selfies and Polaroids. Do you want to collect larger inclusions for the album, or do you just want to collect 9-pocket or 8-pocket items? All of these things I think are super important to think about when you're going into a new collection. Yeah, that would be a good first place to start. Let's discuss photo cards. So what I'm showing you right now, these cards, these are album photo cards, which means that I bought an album back in the day when this album came out. This is an older album, and this is from 2016, I think. I bought an album. The album came with a photo card. It also did come with other inclusions. Yeah, so it came with like one of these clear cards, and then also like a little message card. So as you can see, I collect pretty much everything from Monster X, so yeah. Don't be overwhelmed by my Monster X collection. I know it's a lot. Those are album cards. We also, this is what used to be like the norm for K-pop. I know that like broadcast cards have been a thing for a while, which are pretty much like photo cards that these days you either get from doing events, and the company will advertise those events kind of at the beginning of the era. At least for my alt groups, that's kind of how it works. They'll say like, if you provide streaming proof on Fan Cafe, we will choose whatever 50 winners and send them these like special photo cards. Also back in the day, if you went to live music show stages, you got special photo cards and benefits from doing that. I don't know with COVID what that situation looks like these days. I'm pretty sure broadcast cards, like I said, at least for my alt groups, turned into something, a benefit, like an event benefit from streaming, or I don't know. There's a lot of benefits, a lot of different events and things. So it's important to look at your favorite group, Twitter and Instagram. Usually Twitter is where I see these things advertised. I don't see it as much on Instagram because I feel like it's kind of harder to do like text posts for Instagram, you know what I mean? Instagram is more about like sharing photos and videos and things, and I feel like Twitter you can do more text posts explaining like events and things. We have first press benefits, so some cards will only be available with the first press of the album, which is basically everything that the company makes prior to the release is what I think they consider first press. Don't quote me, I don't work for a K-pop company. Though if anyone wants to hire me, your girl would move there and help with that, help with photo cards and stuff. However, there are some items that if you buy a second press of the album, which after a certain point, they'll reprint the album the same as the beginning. So it gives you kind of a reason to buy early, which helps increase album sales. So those are benefits. Usually when companies drop album specifics for the comeback, it will say like, this is a first press benefit on it. I'll go ahead and throw up some examples on screen here. So there are some things that you get by pre-ordering or by the first press of the album. So that's important to look out for, especially if you're starting a photo card collection maybe later, to see if this is a group that does pre-order benefits and things like that, because those cards are going to be harder to find because they're not available in the album anymore. POBs and fan sign cards. So you probably, if you watch photo card sorting videos, you've probably heard of POBs or POBs, people call them. I call them POBs, and fan sign cards. And these are not necessarily a new thing. There have been like fan sign benefit cards for a long time. If you attend a fan sign, you get a photo card. And now it's kind of like, there's fan sign winner photo cards, and there's also fan sign like pre-order benefits and POBs and stuff. And people always ask me like, Carolina, how do you keep up with what's being released? And honestly, there's a couple ways. So one way is to follow the stores on like Twitter. I use Twitter for literally so much of my photo card collection, which is why I'm on Twitter so much. Also, it's just my preferred social media platform, honestly, after YouTube. But yeah, so there will be a lot of companies that will say, hey, we're doing this event. You have to purchase your album during this purchase period. And if you do, it's for Korean sites, it can be like 3 days. So you really have to like keep an eye out on this. And for some like sites like MMT and SubK, you might have a couple of weeks, especially if it's in the pre-order period. Yes, those are photo cards that are store exclusive. So if you buy from the store SubK, for instance, you will get the SubK exclusive photo card. That doesn't mean every album they have on their site has exclusive photo cards. You kind of have to look for it, but they do state it. Another way you can know if you don't want to follow all of these stores is just follow the official account. Because again, for my alt groups, I know that they will frequently retweet the events that the companies post about, and then they'll also post it in like Fan Cafe and on Twitter and all of that, so that people are aware there is a fan sign happening. And for the most part, if you buy an album during that period, you get that album. Another thing is lucky draws, which are kind of the same thing, except there's no fan sign attached to it. They tend to be thicker photo cards. They feel like a credit card almost, like that level of thickness. Sometimes a little thicker, honestly. Yeah, those are I'll insert a photo of them, but basically you buy an album at a store during a purchase period. Usually used to have to be in person to do them. And you go up and it's like this giant vending machine and you press this button and a photo card comes out. It's kind of a really cool concept. I really like the concept of lucky draws. And so yes, those you now, for the most part, can purchase online as well. They've made it so it's possible to purchase them online as well. So again, you just have to kind of keep an eye out for things on social media to see when those cards are going to be available. The second thing we're going to talk about is where to get photo cards. So I just explained all of the ways you can get them from like albums and stuff and from buying from certain stores. So obviously if you buy an album, you get a photo card from an album. But where do people like me who have like tons of photo cards and things, where do we buy our cards? Because like I'm not going and buying, well, oh, this is the wrong number. But yeah, so obviously you buy an album, you get a photo card. Some people buy lots of albums to get pre-order benefits, photo cards, and end up with a lot of extra album cards. And a lot of stores, if you have a 6-member group, if you buy 6 albums, you'll get 6 photo cards. Now I have 6 albums, and I have 6 pre-order benefit cards, but then I also have all the album pulls. So yeah, there's that. You can also buy on Twitter and Instagram. Like I said, we'll talk about that more next week. Twitter and Instagram are a great place. It's for where a lot of collectors who do buy a lot of albums are either looking to trade for a certain member or a certain version of a photo card, and they are selling off all their extras from like entering fan signs and things. So also we have eBay and Mercari US. If you are like in the US, Canada, or anywhere else that has like a Mercari website, I'm not sure if they exist in Europe. European collectors, let me know in the comment section down below. Is there a Mercari like Europe? Is that a thing? Those are great places to buy photo cards. I will say that sometimes they can be a little expensive. And then also we have Mercari Japan. And so I'm sure you've heard of Mercari Japan. Again, if you watch a lot of collector videos, a lot of collection videos, Mercari Japan is basically an eBay in Japan. There's no like, well, I wouldn't say that. There actually is like auctioning, but more people just like buy things instead of like auction things, I would say these days. Again, that's just my experience. But if you live anywhere that's not Japan, you have to use a proxy service because this site is pretty much for only people living in Japan. However, there are plenty of websites out there called proxy websites that you can buy the card on or whatever item you're looking for, and they'll buy it for you and then they'll ship it to your non-Japanese address. So it's basically like having a Japan address. Yeah, it's really great because a lot of Japanese sellers will sell things for very reasonable prices. I have found a lot of cards on Mercari Japan that I have never seen anywhere else. It's definitely been a huge help to my collection. A lot of the photo cards there are like $4 or $5, unless you know, it's other cards. We can talk more about pricing and stuff next week, but yeah, so I personally use Bai. I do have a partnership with them, so I do have a code if you sign up with a new account. This isn't sponsored by Bai, by the way. I just have a code and it works all the time. Shop around on Bai. I do have a code. You get 1,000 yen off your first order when you sign up with the link down below. I'll leave that down below for you guys, save you guys a little bit of money on your first order. And then I also use Nyokyo. And they're pretty much the same for me. The only reason I have both is just because sometimes things show up on one website better than the other, and sometimes Nyokyo is having a period where they aren't buying things and Bai doesn't have that. And so it really just depends on my mood. I scroll through both pretty regularly, and they're both super helpful. I have done a video on how I buy on Bai, so I'll go ahead and link that if you want to watch it. It's kind of an older video. It's from, I think it's from a couple years ago now. I might have to film an updated version, but it should still be accurate. And basically what you do is you buy a bunch of photo cards and then you combine your shipping. Otherwise, trust me, shipping is not worth it for one photo card. But if you're someone who's like starting a new collection or just starting collecting, I think it's super, super great to use Mercari Japan. And if you don't want to buy a bunch of extra albums, I think that Mercari Japan, Mercari US, eBay, they're all great resources. I wouldn't buy the first card you see though, compare your prices. I've definitely been a victim of that, of buying a card and then seeing it for cheaper later. So yes, I'm just telling you, like, there are some cards that I don't really care to wait. I'll be like, I haven't seen this photo card for sale ever, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. But there are other cards that I'm like, you know, I bet I could find this for a cheaper price if I wait. So yes, that is pretty much it. Let me put the last 2 sticky notes in my binder, and we will start going over supplies. I'll start with photo card templates. Yeah, give me 1 second. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start talking about supplies now, starting with photo card templates. I definitely think photo card templates are super, super important, and people always ask me questions about my templates, and so I'm gonna try to answer a couple of those FAQs right here, right now, in this moment. So this is an example of a photo card template. This is one for that was weird, calling him I am. This is one for Changyun of Monsta X. I did recently decide to back collect some of his photo cards. So this photo card template is by Once Vernon, who love them. This is their Instagram is Once Vernon, and then their Twitter is PCY Vern. If you have seen any Twice or 17 photo card templates going around, it's probably from this person if they have this similar format. So yeah, let me show you how I find photo card templates, because sometimes I follow a couple of my favorite template makers, but if I'm just looking for a photo card template and I'm not sure how to find it, I go to our bestie Twitter. Here we have, oh my gosh, they've added new cards since I last looked at this. Those are really cute. So this is a photo card template that somebody made for Wano's new album Obsession. Go stream Eye on You, from another person who made a Wano photo card template. This is an older album. This is Blue Letter, his last album. This is a completed photo card template. Well, actually it's not complete. It's very far from complete, but for a recent comeback, I would always hit the latest tab, scroll through. These are all Obsession now. And as you can see, Wano's album, not all the photo cards are out yet, and so they're just updating them, but I'll like bookmark it. Like if it's partially finished like this, I'll like bookmark it and then I'll come back to it. So say I want to use this photo card template for Obsession. I'll go ahead and save it. Perfect. Let's pretend that photo card template is like done, by the way. And then, as you could see from my Changyun template, there are some cards that I have that are faded out, which I like to personally do to show that I have the card. Some people will completely white it out, but I like to be able to see through a little bit just to see, like, I don't know, because sometimes I'm scrolling through Macari and I'm like, do I have that card? And if I don't see it on the template, I'm like, but do I have that card? I don't know. I just like to be able to see through it too. It also helps me see like how much progress I've made, being able to see the other cards, but some people will completely white it out. It's totally up to you. There's a couple of ways you can go about whiting things out. So I don't want to use this Changyun template, so let's use Wano. So there's a couple ways you can do this. The first way is you can hit edit in your Photos app. I don't know anything about Androids. I'm an Apple girl. I've always been an Apple girl. So I don't know anything about Android, so I apologize for this first one, Android friends. And I guess you use the chisel tool and then you can change the color. I never do it this way. I'm just showing you it's an option in case you don't want to do it the other ways that I've shown you. But let's say that I pull this card in my album because I'm trying to manifest it. You can go ahead and draw over it. But yeah, you can do this. It doesn't ever look the cleanest in my opinion. I don't really like doing it like this, but a lot of people will do it like that. Or manifesting that card, by the way. Freaking love this photo card. But yeah, so there's that. There's another way you can do it. If you go straight to Instagram to save all of my templates. So I would take this Wano template, hit the draw tool, and then the highlight tool, and either white, or you can like choose whatever color the background is. And then I just color it out like this. I'm not very good at staying in the lines, as you can see, but because we also have an eraser tool, so this I'm much better at this when there's not a camera in between me and the templates. You can do that, and then you can save it if you want to have all your templates in one place, heart it and favorite it, or add them all to like a folder on your phone so you always have your updated templates. And then I also like to save it to, I'm gonna do my close friend story so I don't confuse anyone. I'm just gonna do Katie. Hey, Katie. So yeah. So then I would go through and add it to my highlights. So I have all these highlights. Again, we'll go through this next week more, but I would add it to my Monstex highlight because that's where I had my Wano stuff. So let me actually delete that because I don't actually have that card. The third way I found recently, I actually saw this on TikTok, is there's this app called Canva, and it's really, really cool. I really like it because I'm someone who always loses my templates, and so this way all of your templates are in the same place. You can also have them in folders. So I have like a Photocard template folder, and then I just have the free version, so I can only do one other folder. So I have like a girl groups one. But I think I'm gonna try this out for a little longer, and then I think I will upgrade to the like other version. But if I were to go, let's do my follow template. So yeah, as you can see, I can edit these. So I can take this away. Say the Minya card got lost in the mail. I actually already own this card, but say it got lost in the mail. I could take that away and be like, oh, this is available again. So basically the way you do this is you go to create a design, Instagram story, and then you go to uploads, upload media, photo library, and then I choose the Wano template, which is actually the one that I saved. Oops, that's the one I saved from Instagram, but it's fine, it'll be okay. You add it in here, and then you can size it up. Perfect. And then again, let's say I pulled this photo card. We can go ahead and go to elements. This is from the lines and shape one, but I recently used it, so it's right here. Then I can change the color up here to white and change the transparency, so I can make it as like clear as I want or as blurry as I want. And then I can change the size so I can fit it around. Let's say I pull this photo card and I don't need this one anymore. So I can do that. And then, I think that was too far over. So then this card is blurred out, and if something happens to this card, I can just go in and delete it. Cool, right? And then I can go home, and the design should show up. It's still loading, but I also can rename it and be like, I actually just want to type. I don't like using the pencil to write, unless I'm like actually writing notes or something. Wano Obsession template, so that I know what it is. And then I can always go in and be like, oh, I got some more albums in the mail, or I got some more cards recently. I bought some from someone. And then you can, of course, save this, save the image. And so it said you saved your design, and you can go find it in your camera roll. So those are the three, I didn't mean for this to be like its whole segment, but those are the three different ways that I have blurred templates and the way I find templates. You can find templates on Instagram as well, but I just find Twitter is easier when it's not like one of the template makers I follow. Yes. Okay. Moving on to other supplies. I told y'all this was going to be a long video. This is why I'm not talking about trading and buying. This binder we were looking at earlier, we're going to use as an example because I have a lot of different size sleeves in this binder, so I think that it will be good. I will link all of the supplies I talk about in the description box down below, so check that out. The Amazon links are affiliate links, which means that I get a small commission if you buy something at no extra cost to you. Anyways, so this is a 3-ring, 3-inch Avery binder. This is what I like to use for my photocard binders because, as you can see, I have a lot of photocards and I hate having 8,000 binders So I would rather have larger binders than smaller binders. I don't feel comfortable doing anything larger than a 4-inch binder. But yeah, some people don't like doing more than 2 inches or 3 inches. It really depends. I don't feel comfortable filling my binders any farther than like this point, because I found that afterwards, if you fill it like any higher than that, things do get bent and things. And I know I just put in like a bunch of sticky notes to get more cards, so I am going to have to reorganize this at some point. The most popular and the most important item that you will need for your collection is obviously a 9-pocket page. The majority of the cards that you will use, the majority of the cards that you use that come in albums and stuff will fit in 9-pocket pages. Not everything's gonna fit in a 9-pocket page. We'll discuss that, but a lot will. So yes, also I wanted to discuss that I do in fact double sleeve my cards, which I'm sure is something you have seen in the community. So this is a Ultra Pro one, but I do personally these days, again, this is an unsponsored video. This is like a real, true, raw, not sponsored opinion. I really like the Titan Shield brand. Let me see if I can find the package to show you. I think I have extras still. I really like the Titan Shield brand. I don't care enough to go back and re-sleeve my entire collection with Titan Shield. However, I do really like Titan Shield and I do really like Dragon Shield. Those are my 2 favorite brands of sleeves. Do you need to sleeve your photo cards? This is like a big topic in the community right now. Personally, I like to sleeve my photo cards because I enjoy knowing there's an extra layer of protection for my card that I spend a lot of money on. And yeah, so I like to sleeve my photo cards. I also like it because Monster X cards don't really move around much in binder sleeves. But for other groups' photo cards that aren't this size, we go back here to my smaller Monster X photo cards that are more of a traditional photo card size. It helps keeps them centered in the page, and I just think it looks better. But it's a personal preference, and I don't sleeve every single photo card I own. I do have a binder full of like extra merch and stuff that I don't sleeve. I don't feel like sleeving my 3-pocket or 4-pocket items. I don't think that's personally necessary, like for my own collection. Obviously, live your best life, but I personally like sleeving my photo cards, which is why I do it. But it can be expensive too, so if you're someone who doesn't want to sleeve your cards, you don't have to, but I do. I would just say if you don't sleeve your photo cards, even if you do sleeve your photo cards, to make sure the binder pages you're using are PVC free. That is super, super important because having a non-PVC free binder page will damage your photo cards. It'll cause the colors to fade. And I'll see if I can try to find a couple pictures. I've never had one. I've always used PVC free items, so I've never had that happen to any of my cards, but I know that it does happen if you use photo card binder sleeves that have PVC in them. A couple of brands that I use for my 9-pocket pages are Ultra Pro. I can't remember, do I like the silver brand? I just finished a pack of them. I'll go ahead and write it right here. Whatever I normally buy, and whatever I normally buy is linked in the description box, so yeah. Ultra Pro, BCW, this Wano card is sleeved backwards and it's bothering me. Ultra Pro, Titan Shield, and BCW are 3 brands of PVC sleeves that I use all the time. So definitely would recommend those brands. Next we have these 2-pocket sleeves. I make the cardboard or the cardstock myself. So yeah, I like the cardstock backing for things, but these are more used for like postcards or slightly larger items. These particular ones are BCW. I think Ultra Pro is pretty much the same. As you can see, they don't go out to the edge of the page. They're kind of small. I think they're 5x7, right? So yes, those. We also have 3-pocket pages. This is BCW. I don't think it really matters between BCW and Ultra Pro for those. Titan Shield doesn't really make a lot of sleeves that aren't 9 pockets, so yeah, that's why I'm just saying those 2 brands. We also have 8-pocket pages. These are really good. These would fit in 9 pockets, but they're horizontal, and so I wanted to be able to see them. But these are good for like the larger merch photo cards, like for BTS. This is one of the BTS merch tour photo cards. These fit perfectly in 8 pockets, but they don't fit in 9 pockets, so they're perfect for that. And any sort of larger item. I think the TXT larger photo cards fit in these perfectly as well. These are a longer 2-pocket sleeve that are kind of hard to find these days, but these do go out to the edge, as you can see there. So there's a couple of extra inches for those. 4 pockets. I love the BCW 4 pockets. I don't like the Ultra Pro ones. I think that's the only thing that I have like a certain preference for as far as sleeves go. Pretty much everything else, Ultra Pro, BCW are pretty much the same in my mind, but for 4 pockets, I really like BCW. Here's another example of a 2-pocket. This one's also BCW, but just another example of what I use them for. And the reason I like BCW is because these pockets are larger and the Monstex Polaroids don't fit in Ultra Pro 4 pockets. Oh, also my fillers, because somebody asked me about this recently. My fillers are linked down below, but they are standard size white photocard sleeves. So you actually could like store a photocard in these, but I just use them as fillers. I think it's better than like making your own fillers. Not saying if you want to make your own fillers, you shouldn't. I just think for a collection as large as mine, I like to have items that I can reuse. And I feel like if you make a specific photocard filler, then it can be kind of not wasteful. That's not the word I want to use, but you end up throwing a lot of paper away. And so I use sticky notes. I'm trying to convert myself to using like these smaller sticky notes instead of the large ones, which is what you saw me putting away at the beginning of this video. So I'm trying to use those. I do have hollow sleeves and I also have the plain white sleeves. So yeah, I used to completely white sleeve my collection and now I clear sleeve it. And so I don't feel bad about the change because I ended up still using the white sleeves anyways. But yeah, there's a couple other binder pages I want to show you. So let me pull out a different binder. Okay, so this is a 10 pocket page. I think these are technically called like business card pages or whatever, but pretty much the only thing I use these for are Stray Kids' Japanese photo cards. But I think they fit Stray Kids' Japanese photo cards perfectly. They're slightly longer than like a 9 pocket would be. So the photo cards don't stick up at the top. So I recommend these for anyone who has something in their collection that's kind of a little taller, but is still the classic photo card size, like width-wise, because otherwise they don't fit. These aren't double sleeved, by the way, because they wouldn't fit if they were double sleeved. I also have 6 pocket pages. So these are really good for like bookmarks and like skinnier, tall items that don't fit nicely in 9 pockets. So this is the Ultra Pro brand. This is a BCW brand. It's a different BCW brand, but like the logo's different, but it's still BCW. And then also I have these 3 pocket pages. So these are really good for longer items that are more horizontal. So I have like the 17 Ataka fold out things, whatever they're called, in this kind of sleeve. I think that's pretty much everything. There's so many different kinds of sleeves and things, you guys. Like, there's really so much out there. But yeah, one last thing I wanted to talk about real quick. I thought of using an A5 binder versus a standard size binder like the one I just showed you. I recently did a video. You're seeing this on Sunday, I think. So on Friday, as long as editing Carolyn has it together, I should have released a video about my new A5 binders. So this is one of them. This collection holds TXT, or this binder holds rather, TXT and in hyphen. So yes, I collect Yeonjun and I also collect Jake. So yeah, the thing about this is that this supplies is not as easy to get your hands on, and I think it's because it's a fairly new thing in the K-pop community, is using A5 binders. I personally really like it for smaller collections. If you're not collecting super thoroughly, like for Yeonjun, I literally just collect his small 9 pocket album photo cards. They do have to be sleeved if you're gonna double sleeve them. They have to be sleeved in smaller sleeves. So this is the Japanese size sleeve, which is smaller than the photo card sleeves we looked at earlier. Yes, I'll also have these Japanese size ones linked down below if you want to check those out. But yeah, the binder sleeves and the binder itself, this is the preferred binder brand in the community. This is Beyond D, but I know that there's a lot of other A5 binders that exist out there that might be easier to get your hands on, but I really wanted the Beyond D one. So I'll go ahead and link where I got my Beyond D one down below. I was on their website last night and they're sold out currently, but maybe they'll get some back in stock soon, hopefully. That is everything, I think. I'm pretty sure. I think I answered all the questions. This ended up being a 50-minute video, so I'm really, really glad that we're going to talk about trading and selling next week, because I feel like I have a lot to say about these topics, and I have a lot of, like, not to toot my own horn, but I've been doing this a long time, and so I just know a lot about these topics, and so I can talk about photo card collecting for literally ever. So let me know if you have any questions. I hope this all made sense to you. I'm glad it's in a video, so, like, this is a lot of information that you can, like, come back and redigest whenever you want. So I'm really happy that this is, like, a video I finally made. But yeah, happy collecting. Remember, it's not a race. You don't have to finish your collection in 5 minutes. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, let me know if you have any questions about anything I talked about in this video down in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye.